For people with diabetes, is coffee a friend or a foe? In moderation, it can be helpful, but too much can easily cause blood sugar to spike. This statement may seem like a simple reminder, but it's actually based on a series of medical studies from around the world. For a healthy person, a cup of coffee in the morning may just be a simple pleasure. But for a person with diabetes, every cup of coffee can be a test for their blood sugar and their heart. Welcome back to the Dr. FICO channel, where we share simple but important knowledge to help you understand your body, take care of your health every day, and live a long, happy life with your family. Coffee has long been an indispensable part of daily life for many Vietnamese people. In the morning, you might not have time for breakfast, but you definitely need a small cup of drip coffee to feel awake. In the hot afternoon, sitting with friends over a glass of iced coffee is a hard habit to break. In many places, drinking coffee has become a cultural norm, a daily rhythm of life. But for people with diabetes, every habit needs to be carefully considered. That's because a diabetic's body is like a sensitive scale. Even a small change can cause the blood sugar balance to tip to one side. So, the question, is coffee safe? Is not simple. It requires a breakdown of every aspect. The good side of coffee. In reality, coffee isn't all bad. In moderation, it can offer significant benefits. Coffee beans contain many antioxidants, especially polyphenols and chlorogenic acid. These compounds act like a shield that fights against free radicals, reduces inflammation, protects the inner lining of blood vessels, and slows down cellular aging. Some long-term studies show that people who maintain a habit of drinking 1 to 2 cups of black coffee a day have a 10 to 15% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to those who don't. In addition, coffee has been noted to reduce liver fat and help the liver function better, which is very important because the liver determines how much sugar is released into the bloodstream. The caffeine in coffee also stimulates the nervous system, helping to increase alertness, improve short-term memory, and speed up metabolism. For some diabetic patients, moderate coffee intake can even make the body more sensitive to insulin, meaning it's easier to control blood sugar. The bad side of coffee. On the other hand, if you drink it the wrong way or drink too much, coffee can cause a series of problems. The first issue is a sudden blood sugar spike. Black coffee with little or no sugar can be relatively safe, but most of us prefer coffee with condensed milk, instant coffee, or coffee mixed with a lot of sugar. These drinks contain large amounts of sugar and condensed milk, causing blood sugar to rise very quickly after drinking. Furthermore, the caffeine in coffee makes the heart beat faster and blood pressure rise, putting even more stress on the cardiovascular system of a diabetic patient, which is already weakened. Another problem is insomnia. Just 1 cup of coffee consumed late in the afternoon can keep you up all night. And science has proven that even 1 night of poor sleep is enough to significantly raise blood sugar the next day, because a lack of sleep increases insulin resistance. It doesn't stop there. Drinking too much coffee can also cause restlessness, anxiety, and tremors, affecting your nerves. For people with diabetes, these effects will combine with their metabolic disorders, making them feel more tired and easily trapped in a vicious cycle. You feel tired, so you drink coffee. Drinking coffee causes insomnia, and insomnia makes your blood sugar go haywire. How coffee affects the liver. The liver is the largest metabolic factory in the body. It determines how glucose is released into the blood, stores glycogen, processes fats, and detoxifies the body. For people with diabetes, the liver plays a crucial role because if it releases too much glucose, blood sugar will rise even if you haven't eaten. First, coffee and the risk of fatty liver disease. Some studies show that drinking black coffee in moderation can reduce the risk of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAF, LD. This is because the antioxidants in coffee, especially chlorogenic acid, can reduce oxidative stress and inflammation in the liver. When the liver is less inflamed, its ability to accumulate fat also decreases. Next, the harm of drinking sugary coffee. However, most Vietnamese people don't drink black coffee, they drink it with condensed milk or with lots of sugar. In this case, the liver has to process an enormous amount of extra sugar. This excess sugar doesn't just raise blood sugar immediately. It's also converted into fat and stored in the liver. Over time, fatty liver disease becomes more severe, making it harder for the liver to control glucose, which worsens diabetes. Finally, the impact on liver enzymes. The caffeine in coffee can reduce liver enzymes in moderation. But if you drink a lot of sugary coffee, liver enzymes can rise again due to inflammation from fatty liver. This explains why many diabetic patients, even though they drink coffee daily, still have high liver enzymes and a weakening liver. The danger to your heart. People with diabetes already have a higher risk of cardiovascular disease than normal due to atherosclerosis, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. Coffee, if not controlled, can worsen this condition. First, caffeine makes the heart beat faster. Caffeine is a central nervous system stimulant. After drinking coffee, your heart will beat faster, blood vessels will constrict slightly, and blood pressure will temporarily increase. For a healthy person, this isn't a major concern. But for a diabetic patient, the combination of high blood sugar plus high blood pressure plus a fast heart rate is like a ticking time bomb, increasing the risk of heart attack or stroke. Next, a direct impact on cholesterol. Some types of unfiltered coffee, like traditional drip coffee, contain a compound called cafestol, which can raise bad LDL cholesterol. If you already have high cholesterol, which is very common in people with diabetes, drinking a lot of this type of coffee increases the risk of arterial stiffness. Finally, the risk of arrhythmia. For sensitive individuals, just one strong cup of coffee can cause heart palpitations and a racing heartbeat. This is a warning sign that the heart is under stress. If ignored, the consequences can be very serious. Caffeine also affects sleep quality. Caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 7 hours, meaning if you drink a cup of coffee at 3 p.m., your body will still have half the caffeine in its system at 9 or 10 p.m. This makes it harder to fall asleep, and sleep is shallower, causing you to wake up easily. A real-life example. Mr. Nam, 55, has been living with type 2 diabetes for over 7 years. Despite having the disease for a long time, he has always tried to follow his doctor's instructions. He watches his diet, limits white rice, avoids sweets, and takes his medication every day. But there was one thing Mr. Nam never considered: his habit of drinking coffee with condensed milk. Since he was young, coffee has been an indispensable part of his life. He would never start his morning without a hot cup of coffee with condensed milk to feel alert. In the hot afternoon after work, he would have another glass of iced milk coffee to fight off drowsiness. In the evening, when he met with friends, 1 or 2 more cups of milk coffee would appear on the table. He averaged 3 to 4 cups of milk coffee a day, seeing it as a small pleasure he couldn't give up. For many years, he wondered why his blood sugar was so high, despite all his efforts. On some days, even without eating anything sweet, his blood sugar would still be over 9 or 10 mmol divided by L. He thought it was just that his body was difficult to control, or that the medication wasn't strong enough. It wasn't until a routine follow-up appointment, when the doctor asked him in detail about his lifestyle habits, that he finally admitted, "I drink a few cups of coffee with condensed milk every day. But I always thought coffee didn't have any sugar in it, so it wouldn't affect anything." The doctor then explained that seemingly harmless cup of coffee was the very culprit that was keeping his blood sugar so high. Each spoonful of condensed milk contains about 12 grams of sugar, and a single cup of milk coffee usually has 3 to 4 spoonfuls. This means that 1 cup alone contained almost 40 to 50 grams of sugar. At 3 to 4 cups a day, the amount of sugar he was consuming was equivalent to several cans of soda. Mr. Nam was stunned. He never expected that his daily companion had become his hidden enemy. Determined to change, he began drinking black coffee with no sugar, limiting himself to 1 small cup in the morning to stay alert. At first, the bitter taste was unpleasant, but he gradually got used to the pure flavor. He even said, "It turns out, black coffee is the real coffee." Alongside his coffee change, Mr. Nam continued to maintain a scientific diet: brown rice, lots of green vegetables, fish, and beans. He also started walking for 30 minutes every day. After 3 months, the results surprised even him. His blood sugar dropped significantly. His HbA1c went from 8.5% to 7.1%. His fatty liver improved, and his cholesterol levels got better. He also felt more mentally sharp and slept better. When he shared his story with friends, he smiled softly. "I still drink coffee, but now I drink it as a friend, not an enemy." As you can see, coffee isn't necessarily an enemy. But it's not an unconditional friend either. If you drink it the wrong way, it will become a burden on your liver, heart, and blood sugar. But if you drink it correctly, less sugar, in moderation, and at the right time, it can still be a small daily pleasure without harming your health. Thank you for watching the entire video. If you found this content helpful, please remember to subscribe to the Dr. Fico channel and leave a comment below to share your situation.